Congratulations on today, Uday.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've announced with SpectraNet?
So today actually was a announcement of a partnership with SpectraNet to deliver, where the two companies have come together to deliver high quality, world class support services to all of SpectraNet broadband and fiber customers. And the differentiation between this and what the rest of the telcos have been doing worldwide, or we've been doing in the past with other telcos globally, is that this time the service is being bundled with the core telco product. So the broadband fiber product which SpectraNet has taken to market, which is I think 16 GB unlimited, 16 Mbps unlimited download, high capacity, high availability fiber direct to home. That is being enabled and supported by the iYogi service as part of the product plan. And for the first time, I think an initiative has been made to sort of provide this service as a bundle. In fact, SpectraNet has gone to the next extreme of actually providing it free right now to all existing customers, and in fact absorbing the price within their core product price. So that shows that the market is maturing, that a telco recognizes the need to provide high quality technical support services to their customers, so that their customers can use their broadband service and high capacity fiber service effectively using every piece of technology they have. So it's not stopping at saying that that they only support the ISP related technical problems which a customer faces, but they're ready to support everything which goes into the digital home, and whether it's a smartphone, tablet, connectivity, printing services, whatever all of what iYogi does worldwide with their consumers is what is being made available to the Indian customer.
So, what is iYogi's primary service? Who are your main customers?
Our main customers are people who use digital technology in their home. People who are typical of SpectraNet customers who have high capacity fiber or broadband, triple play broadband convergence access into their homes and use technology to conduct day-to-day lives, do banking online, do commerce online, do maybe some smart home management online, run security online, have multiple devices in their homes, husband, wife, kids, all connected and using various applications of the internet, and their dependency on the continual functionality of the technology infrastructure in the house, as well as being able to access the ISP service continuously, is very high. The second is these kind of services are best delivered as we do, which is through a platform. So it's not just a point of need support service run by a call center. We use what is called Digital Service Cloud, which is a proprietary technology platform to manage the consumer homes. And that cloud platform we have deployed along with SpectraNet's infrastructure. So every SpectraNet customer now will have our platform running in their homes. And so we will be able to monitor, preempt, break down, keep the systems running correctly, keep them secure, free from virus, free from malware, keep them updated with the latest developments in the software application they use, all the patches they need updated, so that they have a continuous hassle-free experience. As also provide them access and advice to technology buying, provide them access and advice to how to use and get the best out of their technology. All of that is what is part of the iYogi brand promise and service promise, and that's enabled partly through software tools, partly through self-help, partly through educative videos which we have on our YouTube channel, partly through call centers based support services, and some purely through remote services. So it's a combination of different kinds of support needs which we provide.
What is your tech support team strength like? How many people do you employ?
So we have 4,000 people who are deployed in various types of customer support functions across the globe. And they're working out of various centers, some in India, some international, and all of them are available to customers around the world for different needs, and it's available 24/7. The same set of people and the same practices which we deploy internationally are being made available in the Indian market, and in this case through the SpectraNet partnership to all the SpectraNet customers.
So you're entering India now with SpectraNet? Is this your first?
I mean, we are an Indian company, so in that sense, we've been in India all through. But we have been trying to wait to figure out when is the right time for the evolution of our service for our service to evolve in India, depending on how the local market itself evolves. So I think broadband penetration has started to pick up now in India. You just moved from 2G to 3G in the phone system. 3G has gone to 4G in LTE, but very limited rollout. There's still broadband penetration is largely limited to a couple of cities, three, four maybe, and a very small percentage of what you would call the mobile app, what do you say, user base is on broadband. A very small percentage of the entire household user base in India is on broadband. So we wanted to wait until there was some kind of scale, and I think the time is right now. Over the last 6-7 years, we have thought about doing it a number of times, but we always thought that there was subscale in India. So I think there's scale enough for us now to actively look at participating in the Indian market. We are, the service is available in 17 countries. We are constantly expanding. So this is just a natural evolution of the expansion process. We have moved from being only US to US and Canada, then we launched in England. We did Australia, then we launched Europe, then we have launched Asia Pac. We're live in Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines. So we're just continually adding, and India, Africa, China. These are the natural, new rollouts. Also, we have sort of, traditionally been only focused on English language support. Then last year we launched services with Telefonica in Spain. That was the Spanish language, delivered locally out of Spain. And so we started to look at other languages, more closely. And so India is a great test market. We'll start with English, and then eventually maybe we might even provide support in local regional languages. Who knows?
What are the main challenges that you see with the India market?
I mean, India market has multitude of challenges. One of them, of course, is that there's huge diversity in the nature of people across the country. Except for the major metros, people tend to. There's language diversity. There is usability diversity within people. They have diversity with brands, and there's also diversity with telcos. I mean, there's hugely differential pockets of what I would call influence within the technology user groups. So to come up with a universal strategy of customer acquisition and customer service is tough. So you have to select your partners and select your go-to markets carefully, and also price. Indian market, like most developing economies, are price sensitive. So it's not that you can go over the board and spend a lot of money acquiring customers and then you can't run the business profitably. So you find the right partner you want to go to market with, whether you're doing it online or you're doing it through a channel partner or you're doing it through a telco or you're doing it through retail. There are various ways of selling. Sure. And then the delivery model itself has to be tuned. Luckily, we are at a point that we have so much scale now in our business that we can take incremental, service costs in smaller markets and wait for the markets to grow and develop. Right. And so like I said earlier, timing is important, and the timing with respect to India, we feel is now, and we're in a good position. We got a great partner to start the rollout with, and then we are simultaneously talking to other, large telcos to do the same thing.
Okay, so if you had to sum up what your expansion strategy for India is, how do you see the next year developing?
I instead of looking at it from a year perspective, because this is a long-term business, I think the transformation of the telecommunication industry from landline to cellular voice, took 10-12 years. From cellular voice, it is now moving to data, right? And that's going to take 2 to 3, 4, 5 years. Our real expansion follows data. Where data and internet reaches, that's where our kind of support reaches first. So I think we'll have to be patient and have a longer 4 or 5 year view on where we want to get to, and hopefully get this to at least 10, 15, 20% of our business and revenue. Both from a customer standpoint as well as value standpoint to our overall business.
So the telecom players clearly play an important role in your expansion here specifically, and you mentioned globally also. Who are the major telcos that you're in conversation with? And one of the things that you talked about was how there is an evolution happening from being a VAS, a value-added service provider, to you being a partner for core services. Right? What is that all about?
I think I'll answer the second question first and I'll come back to the earlier part later. See, the concept of VAS is a relatively newer phenomena wherever mobile operators sort of started to expand, and where the regional telecommunication players, strong regional telecommunication players did not move into mobility. So value-added services became a sort of a jargon, and it sort of seems to be seen as something which is distinct from the telco's core offering. That's why they called value-added services, right? And there was a time when even messaging was a value-added service. No longer messaging is core to what a telco does today. And similarly, payment gateway and payment management right now, online payment is a value-added service. I think at the end of it, it's core capability of telco. They own the customer. They have a strong monthly billing relationship with the customer, and the smartphone has a significant payment integration capability with point of sale as well as online and stuff like that. So I think over a period of time, what was sort of thought to be a value-added adjunct service is becoming more and more core to what a telco's offering is. And telco is the pipe; it's a utility which goes into every home, and there is a high degree of engagement between a telco and a consumer, repetitive monthly engagement. Your reliance on a telco is like your reliance on an electricity provider or a water provider or a transportation provider. So I think this whole concept of movement from what was categorized earlier as value-added service, which are adjunct to what a telco was doing earlier, to what is called core services, I think is happening as we speak. And we certainly are in the business of actually providing support to telco customers, and a telco customer is a natural iYogi customer, and our partnership with SpectraNet actually moves beyond being just a third-party support provider to actually supporting SpectraNet's core functionality. So this is a unique situation where there's only one number a customer calls, and whether the problem is to do with SpectraNet, whether it's to do with infrastructure, SpectraNet is to do with their fiber, is to do with the last mile, is to do with the endpoint router inside in the home which SpectraNet is provided, or it is to do with technology which the consumer owns. There's only one person to call. That one person will resolve issues related to any of these elements, and that's why this is even more core, because it is ultimately running their core, fundamentally core service, which before they started working with us, before this partnership was actually in-house in SpectraNet. So we've taken that and moved into the iYogi infrastructure. We also deployed our platform, so enhanced the capability of monitoring and managing the endpoint and the end network, along with what they already were monitoring and managing, which was their core network. So it has become a core service. But when I said that statement earlier, it is more in line with the fact that I think what was traditionally been seen as value-added services adjunct to what a telco does, even outside of what iYogi does, will slowly start to be seen as core capability of a telco. I think the pipe is a commodity. What people do with the pipe and the content which is provided through the pipe, whether the content is payment services, the content is security, the content is support services like ours, or it's dating services, or it's advice in any area, whatever it is, it is. That's I think what telco's job is.
And are you in talks with any other telcos in India?
Absolutely. I think we're in talks with every telco there is in the world, hopefully. That's our job. I mean, we have a global sales team, and in India, all the major telcos we are in conversations with to either license the platform to them so that they can deliver these services in a differentiated fashion. Look at creating integrated service packs like we've done with case of SpectraNet. We're also looking at doing just third-party value-added sort of service relationship. We're also looking at businesses. And SpectraNet is largely a consumer offering. There is a business offering which we are rolling out simultaneously, but it is relatively small from a spread perspective. But there are other telcos in India who have very large business relationships, from enterprise down to even huge numbers in SMB. So we're also looking at enabling their cloud services, enabling and managing their business networks inside the businesses. So these conversations are across multitude of different opportunities. But what's good is that we've been talking to SpectraNet for some time. We got that relationship moving. It's got to a point that we've now got to go to market, and we're launched. And I think they're way ahead of everybody else in being able to go to market and launch something of this nature. So I think they will carry the benefit of being the first mover. They'll carry the tag of being innovative and being the first in the space. Others will catch up. And whether some of them do it with us or they find their own service partner or try and do something in their own, they will try and catch up. Because I think providing these services is critical for a telco's customer to be able to use the telco capability. I mean, it's like saying you're going to manufacture the smartest car on the earth and give it to a person who can afford it, and then don't provide services for them to maintain and manage the car. I mean, what's the point? It'll come to a standstill at some stage.
And finally, do we see iYogi providing this service standalone, Will you be
No, no,
will you be a
absolutely,
direct-to-consumer
absolutely,
service?
absolutely. We are a direct-to-consumer company. We have a direct-to-consumer brand, and that's what the brand is called, iYogi. And the reason we have started with SpectraNet and are pursuing other such relationships is that in India we have largely sold via the internet to all our customers worldwide. I mean, we don't do door to door to sell services. Customer has to go online to search, and we market through the internet. But the internet search penetration in this country is still small, and relative to the total user base, and that's true in other countries also which have similar demographic. So wherever the search penetration is low, you will find that our direct to consumer model will follow the B2B distribution model. Wherever the internet penetration is very high, like it is in the US, we don't even have a B2B relationship there. We don't need one. Our direct to consumer business is flying off the shelves. So it's just a question of adopting the go to market to the opportunity which a particular geography and customer concentration provides.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.